2017 shop tour. This is something that I've been putting off for a while because it requires me to clean the shop, but it's clean today. I got half battery on the camera and I think I can swing it. Let me give you the rundown of this here facility. So I have never given you guys a real shop tour. I figured 2017 is here, it's probably a good time to do it. And part of the reason I have never done one is there's so much that I want to change about this place, so many improvements that I want to make. And I've always just thought in my head that, you know, I'm gonna wait until everything is done and complete and everything's in order, but come to think of it, I'm always gonna be making changes. I'm always gonna be making improvements. So I might as well post updates here and there so you guys can kind of see the evolution of the shop and kind of be along for the ride. All right, I'm gonna start at the front doors. We got two of them. There's no beam in the middle, which is nice because when they're opened up all the way, we can carry big items in, big items out, such as our forge. We're not running it inside currently. There's no good ventilation. It's just not safe. It's a coke forge. If we ran it inside, the building would probably start on fire. We'd lose everything we have and we might die. So we run it outside. We've got a covered porch out there so we can run it even when it's raining. So it's not a huge deal, except it's freezing cold right now. So we're not forging as much as we'd like to. All right, moving over, we've got our aprons, a couple pairs of tongs, some of the hammers we use the most, tomahawk drift, and our anvil. This is a 70-pound NC anvil. It's a smaller one, but it works for us for everything that we need it for, and it's very affordable. It's a lot better than the one we had before, which was a Harbor Freight cast iron anvil. Those are terrible. You don't want to forge on a cast iron anvil because cast iron is softer than your hammer, so every time you miss your steel, you're gonna dent the anvil, like every single time. So this whole area here is kind of the bulk of our blacksmithing equipment. We do have some more packed away that we don't use as much, and we've got other tools around here that we also use for blacksmithing, but for the most part, everything else is kind of like woodworking around here. So let me head down this way. These are just kind of like cleaning supplies. We've got our brew and brush and everything, shovel because it's winter right now. Couple bags of garbage. It's garbage day in a couple days and that'll be out of here. All right, moving over. This is our side door. This is the north wall of the shop, and we've got a pavement patch out there. That's where we park our cars. So that's the door we come in every time we come to the shop. We've got a couple of buckets of vermiculite here. We use that to anneal our steel. This is our secondary table saw, which we've never actually used as a table saw. We use it as a stand for our filing jig. This is what we use to put the bevels on just about all of our knives. It's just a cool little contraption. This is our 6-inch bench grinder. We've got a wire wheel on here and a grinding wheel on there. We're going handheld on this. So, turning the corner, we've got our workbenches. Let's start up here. Got some grinding discs, our angle grinder, vise, down below some toolboxes and a heater, cinder block with a bunch of carbon steel slid into it. That's all like scrap steel that we use for knives. Got a 12-inch planer down there. That's the Harbor Freight one. It's a cheap one, but it's not too bad. Arbor press. Tiny little arbor press. I use this to push pins into knife handles a lot. Got some files here, and behind me, Timberly Tool and Trade. That's our company. We hand forge knives and tools. Check us out online. Turning the corner though, pegboard. I hate pegboard. Every time you want to get a tool off of pegboard, the goddamn peg comes off with it. You see that? Pegboard is my least favorite thing about the shop. I'd like to make an upgrade soon. That's one of the upgrades I want to make. I want to change that. Down here we've got welder, router table, air compressor, a bunch of scrap wood. We were actually saving our scrap wood for a long time because our huge plan was to install a wood burning stove. I was looking for better better methods of venting it out, but it's like really expensive, more than we were willing to pay at the time. So that's why we've got handy dandy kerosene heater right now. It's cranking and it's pretty warm in here, but I mean, got like a little cup of water here. I mean, there's ice in there still. So it does get pretty cold in here. So continuing on, we've got a little 1x30 right there, which is a small belt sander. It's nice to have for smaller stuff. We used to grind a lot of knives on there, but not so often anymore. This is where we store a lot of our belts. Actually, both of our belts. We only have 2. We need to get a lot more. Oh yeah, this is my tool chest. I got that at a garage sale recently, and I refinished it. You guys saw that in the video if you keep up with the channel. This is just a huge container full of drill bits and driver bits. Got more driver bits down here. All right, so moving over. Got a spot to put the camera now. This is our sanding station. We've got a spindle sander, a 4x36 with a disc sander, and these are the dustiest tools in the shop. So I have a little bit of a dust collection system running to them down to a shop vac. This is the only dust collection I have in the shop, but these are the dustiest tools and they're probably used the most. So I've got my drills here. They're in little PVC slots that I cut out. Thanks, Dad, for the idea. I've got a palm router, some router bits, random orbit sander, another, this is like a Ryobi sander. It's an old one. An electric hand planer, a heat gun, and a circular saw. We keep a lot of axe handles up here. We do a lot of like axe refurbishing and stuff like that. Tape measures. This is my old Dremel tool, and some of these bench cookies that you guys ask about all the time in the videos. What are those orange things that you put underneath your piece of wood when you sand it? These are just like pads that I put under there so that when I sand it, it doesn't vibrate across the table and scratch the bottom of the surface. They're really cheap and they're totally worth it. Over here, I've got a hot glue gun. I use this way more than I thought I was going to when I first brought it in, and I'm so glad I ended up bringing it in here. Such a handy tool to have. Drill battery charger. Let's turn the corner a little bit more so you can see better. Going handheld again. All right, so drills again. Turn the corner, that's that shop vac I was talking about. Got some clamp storage here for a lot of the bar clamps that I have. Map gas, again using PVC to keep that in place. Got a ladder. This is actually in the corner of the shop when we ended up renting it, and we have it now. Got a bunch of pens and markers, dry erase markers, because we've got a big window here so we can draw on the window anytime we have an idea in mind. This place used to be a recording studio, so that's why there's a huge window over here. So these are some more clamps, smaller bar clamps. These are our chemicals, and we keep a bunch of like wood glue and tape and gloves and stuff up here. All right, so this is the center of the shop. We've got our Craftsman table saw, outfeed table, and our miter saw chop station over here. This is our old anvil. It's probably about 50 pounds, but if you see the top, that's what I was talking about with the cast iron. You see how dented up that is? Yeah, cast iron is terrible. We save it because I use it as a weight a lot of times if I need to weigh something down when I'm gluing. Oh, this is our flux. We use this for doing a lot of the Damascus that we do. That's about it. We've got some quench oil down there on the ground, but that's about it. So, moving over here, you can kind of see this is where we just were. There's the front door, going all the way around, the north wall, the back wall with that terrible pegboard. Turn the corner, big huge window, chemicals. Now we're going into this area over here. All right, so moving to the other side of the front door. we've got our eye protection, we've got some ear protection, respirators. That's a bucket of Coke that we use to run the forge. Up here we've got some miscellaneous drill bits, buffing wheels, stuff like that for our Ryobi drill press, which was a solid drill press until the surface plate broke off, and now we have a cinder block. Down here on the ground we've got a couple more bags of Coke that we use for the forge. Underneath here is some charcoal briskets. Sometimes we use those to help get the forge started off the bat. This is our bandsaw. It's another Ryobi. It's all right. I'd like to upgrade these tools at some point. This is our wood rack. We made it out of 2x4s and conduit. We just drilled holes, pounded the conduit in, and it's actually very strong. We've got 3 racks. The one up above goes across the top of the window, so we've got some storage for longer boards. Down here on the ground, we've got a couple buckets of cutoffs, our sawhorses, propane for our propane forge. This is one of the forges we were running before the Coke forge. We've also got another propane forge on the ground, which I built probably a year ago and have never actually used, so it's just chilling there. Got a couple buckets of scrap steel and some paint, and here's some like plywood cutoffs and stuff like that. But here is all of our hardware. We've got screws, small, medium, large, washers, bolts and nuts, and nails, all that kind of stuff. Hinges, dowels. Up here we've got handle material for knives. This looks like some Gamelia burl. I keep a lot of my material up here. Josh, my brother, keeps a lot of his handle material in this one. Looks like he's got some spalted stuff up here. Some pieces of ebony, or maybe that's African blackwood. In here we keep some of our like recent knives that we've made. Here's a camp knife that I made not too long ago. It's just chilling in here until it sells. Got some more wood up here. This is looks like some curly maple. And here's a lot of the brass pins we use for a lot of the knives. This is a fireman's axe. I think Josh was gonna kind of refurbish that or something. Some pin cutoffs. This is a knife, like a 2-tone knife handling jig I made. Rat trap, or mouse trap. We had a goddamn mouse in here like a month ago, but that's the only one we've ever had, so fingers crossed that it's the only one that's in here. I'm keeping my eyes open though. Up here, we've got a couple fans, and this LED halogen sucks. This does not even compare to a real halogen. I mean, I'm all about LEDs and saving energy, but LED halogens don't even compare. This is a bunch of PVC. This was in here when we got the shop. There was just a whole stack of it in the corner. So I decided to keep it. I figured I'd use it for dust collection, and I haven't really. Down here we've got a little shop vac. Doesn't really have great pressure, so or great suction, so we don't really use it too often. But we used to run it on reverse to use as an air supply for our old Coke forge. Now we've got an electric blower, which is a lot nicer. Right here we've got a wood lathe. I don't use it as much as I would have hoped, but I'd like to jump on that more often and start turning some bowls or something like that. We've got some lathe tools up here. It's weird, this was like full of tools and I don't know where they all went. They're just gone now, which doesn't make sense because I never even used the lathe, so they're floating around here somewhere. So turning the corner, we've got our office. So we were just in this whole nook here, turning the corner office. Oh yeah, first aid kit, eye wash station. Josh got some stuff in his eye a long time ago. He had to go to the hospital and get it scratched out, and he was wearing an eye patch for like a week. So now we have eye washing fluid. So entering the room. Let me just turn around right off the bat. So here's the room, we're coming in. Turn the corner, got a bunch of pictures. Got our anvil, Acme anvil clock. Turning the corner, you can see out into the shop now, out of our window. But let's take a look down. This is our leather working station. We've got a bunch of leather hardware, punches, threads, needles, rivets, grommets, all that stuff. This is another drill press that we have. We use this for drilling holes in a lot of leather rather than punching sometimes. It just saves a lot of time. Let's see, these are just like some more punches. This looks like a knife Josh is working on. This is a sheath that I have started. Turning the corner, we've got some knife drawings, a bunch of that stuff going on. That's a gun safe that I made quite a while ago, and I'm still waiting for the customer to pick it up, but hopefully it'll be out of here soon. Looking up at the shelf, we've got a couple buckets for fabrics and leather up here. And then a huge, that's like a full hide up there. And then we've got our computer desk. This computer hardly works. Sometimes I'll jump on it, but I usually don't use it. It's really old, and I bought it in high school. Let's see, paper towels. We should probably get some to keep out in the shop as well, because I'm always coming in here to get them. We've got some pipes and pipe tobacco, and our mini fridge. And that's our like toaster oven. We use this actually for tempering a lot of knives, and it works great. We keep a vacuum in here. Turning. Let me back up. All right, so we've got another shelf up here full of bins. I share this shop with my brother, and we run the company with our sister. So the three of us are in here all the time, so we each have like a personal bin just to keep our own like crap in there, so this whole place doesn't get too cluttered. And then that bin on the right we use for a bunch of camera equipment. Sticking out the top, I think those are umbrellas for like the umbrella lights. We do a lot of like cinematic filming and stuff in here sometimes. So we've got some axes. This is a Holtzfors double bit that I refurbished recently. This is a Pulaski that Josh did recently. This is a fold down workstation. It's pretty nice. We keep dies here, and we do a lot of like our rubber cementing or contact cementing over here. We've got a bunch of clamps up here. Let's walk back and get a shot from the outside. That's our office. It's about 100 square feet, and the shop in total is about 400 square feet. So our shop is roughly 500 square feet. Well, 2017 shop tour. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for asking to see the shop. I've got some comments. You guys have been asking to see it, so here it is. And maybe I'll do another one in 6 months or so after there's been a lot of updates. But thank you for following the channel. If this is your first time seeing the channel or watching any of the videos, please like and subscribe. There's a lot of cool videos on my channel, and there's always more coming, and I'm trying to get more consistent with the uploads. So subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.